Look who it is.
Oh, sorry. Hey, man.
Here we go. How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
Good. How was the weekend?
So it's all right. So it's all right. Yeah.
Did you say salad?
No, I said it was all right. It was all right. Sheesh,
Okay.
like tongue twisted.
Just
Uh,
how's everything going
no,
with the property?
to be honest, like life has taken a bit of a pause.
Yeah.
I've been down with COVID for the past week.
Oh wow. I didn't know
That's why
that.
I disappeared. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say I haven't heard
uh,
from you in a minute. You all
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I am now. I am now.
So what were the symptoms? Talk to me.
Um, I had everything except um, I had everything except like a cough and sore throat. Those are the only two things I didn't have. But like, the headaches, the fatigue, the fevers, um, the exhaustion, slight breathing difficulty. Um,
Difficulty breathing?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
And then like the most peculiar, so I developed like these like sores on my skin that look like chicken pox.
Really?
Yeah. But the apparently their symptoms more common with the D variant,
Delta?
Delta variant. So
Wow.
yeah,
And do they go away? Like have you talked to a doctor?
yeah, I have. Well, it's gonna go. Just but yeah, I'm currently using like special creams, that help with the itchiness and help with the scarring and stuff. So
Yeah, it's sticky because obviously these doctors they know but they really don't at the end of the day, so I'm sure that
mm,
makes you a little nervous.
mm-hmm,
Like you,
mm-hmm,
you can only know so much about this thing.
yeah,
So for them to say it's gonna go away, hopefully that's true. I'm sure it is. It
yeah,
normally does with anything, but who
yeah.
knows? I'm just trying to put myself in your situation, wonder what I'd be feeling. It's difficult.
Yeah. Like I think for us, as long like when we realize, okay, we don't have the breathing problems, because my wife and I, we both got it. Well, she gave it to me.
Okay.
But when we realize at least the breathing problems are not so bad,
Yeah.
you know, that was what put us at ease, to be honest,
True. True.
So yeah, because I have asthma. Like the moment I started having like tight chest and stuff, I had to go to a doctor.
You went
Put
right
me
to the
on,
hospital?
yeah,
Good.
put me on antibiotics. Gave me some corticosteroids for my chest.
Hmm.
And then yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much. I think to a great degree, it's just the tiredness and exhaustion. Like your mind gets foggy. You can't really do much. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And I know how that feels. I felt it for that one day. Remember last week I thought I had COVID? Not last week,
yeah,
the week before.
I remember.
Um, I remember Monday we went out. All day I was feeling like the congestion, the stuffy nose, sneezing, all that stuff, and then later that day, my fiance wanted to go on a long bike ride to really get a good workout in. I got on
Yeah,
the bike and I just wanted to fall asleep.
yeah,
I was so tired. It's not even funny.
yeah,
So we ended up doing it, but it was just like a light ride. As soon as we got home, I just passed out.
yeah.
And I never felt that after that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was fine after that.
Okay, okay,
But
interesting.
but I'm glad you're better and you're back in the markets and everything, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Slowly. I'm trying to catch up. Well, obviously, I have a lot to catch up with work,
Sure.
first, and then like slowly getting back into the markets, trying to see, okay, what can I do at the same time as well. So that's sort of where I am with things. I'm not rushing anything just because work takes priority right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, slowly getting back.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm about to do a full market breakdown, so you'll catch up in that way. And then I would just spend like today or tomorrow catching up with work and everything. And then throughout the week, whenever you have time, just start getting back into the market, back test a session or something like that. And get your eyes trained again.
100%. 100%, man.
Good shit. Well, great to have you back. I'm glad you're healthy as well. James, Stipe, what's up, boys?
What's up, guys?
How are you? How are you?
What's up, Stipe?
Awesome, you guys.
Good, thanks.
You guys took a couple trades this morning. I saw.
Yeah.
I liked them. Up. Let's see. I was checking on Alan. Alan moved to France, and then all of a sudden we haven't heard from him. Let's see. London. Cool. Yeah, James, I like this trade a lot. Right over here, you got like a fake out.
It was in like the 5 minutes.
What was that?
It was under 5 minutes. It was as you can see there, it was clean. Like
Yeah, you had this support right over here that was formed. Price came right back and closed right back above it. Got the clean move to the left on the 5 minute. You can at least take it to right here. It's a nice move, man. So what'd you secure?
I secured like 12 pips and I left my runner to 16 pips.
Okay, and what was your stop loss? What was it?
I was based on the 1 hour as well, I think. The
Sure.
5 minute, I had the range based on the 1 hour.
Sure.
The 5 minutes was just good for entry.
Good shit, man. Would you have done anything differently on this?
No, because I normally just wait for London Open because there's normally fake outs.
Sure.
And after that, I just trade based off that.
Got it. Good stuff, man. That's how you start a week. Same thing with Stipe. You got 75% at 20 pips, I believe it was, right? Yeah. 20 pips, 75%. Stop loss at break even. Got stopped out?
Yep.
Good shit, man. That's how you start a week. It's all good. What I like to do personally, like on, let's say if I'm taking a trade on Sunday, Monday, or Friday, I like to secure a little bit more than I normally do. So let's say 80 or 90%. And then what I've been doing in the middle of the week is securing more like 50%, anywhere from 50 to 90, or from 50 to 70. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Especially on like a Sunday or a Monday, I'm normally gonna secure like 90%. But good shit. All right, so let's get into the charts for today. But first, let's look at the fundamentals for the week. I'm looking forward to it. I think a lot is going to be waiting on next week. We do have a lot of economic data coming out this week, but next week is the Jackson Hole meeting, memoriam, whatever you want to call it, where the Fed talks, and Powell's going to be speaking as well. And maybe we can expect him to talk about tapering or maybe increasing interest rates in the future, not anywhere near, but they're going to be talking about increasing interest rates. So if they talk about increasing interest rates, that's a huge deal. If they talk about increasing interest rates, that's a big deal as well, just not as much. But that's that first step. Obviously, same thing as tapering. Tapering is that first step instead of increasing interest rates. So when they start talking about that stuff, obviously that's going to move the dollar up and gold down. But right now, we have a lot of geopolitical issues going on right now in the Middle East. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Taliban have retaken over Afghanistan's government after 20 years. We've been at war for 20 years in the Middle East for, it seems like, nothing right now. So that's going to move gold up, right? When you have the U.S. getting involved, we just sent 6,000 troops over. You have other countries maybe getting involved as well. But this is something that you guys want to pay attention to, and this is something that is going to start to reverse gold a little bit from its recent bearish trend that we've been in. So we may have some nice buys on gold, as well as we did on Friday as well from some of the data coming out. But we may have some nice rise that we could catch on the way up towards from the beginning of the week all the way to the end of the week. So looking at the economic calendar for this week, Monday we got not much going on this week or today, but moving into tomorrow, you got some Japanese stuff. You got average earnings index and claimant count change. How many people are claiming a unemployment. Same thing with unemployment rate as well out of Great Britain. So that'll be good for GJ. Some of you guys that traded. US, we got core retail sales month to month, industrial production. Powell is speaking tomorrow as well at 1:30. And then we get some NZD data coming out. Moving into Wednesday, beginning of Wednesday during London session, you guys want to keep in mind you got CPI coming out for the pound. You got some CAD. I don't think either of you guys trade the CAD or anything with CAD, but we have FOMC meetings minutes coming out as well tomorrow, Wednesday at 2:00, and then some Australian data as well. Moving into Thursday, we got Philly Fed manufacturing index, and then also unemployment claims. And finally, Friday, you got retail sales coming out. And that's about it, unless you trade CAD, but I don't think you guys do. But like I said, next week is what you guys want to keep in mind. And honestly, you may see the dollar. I think you're going to see the dollar continue to, drop in its intraday or any kind of day trading. You're going to see some drops, obviously, from everything going on in the Middle East. But at the same time, I think we are going to kind of stay stagnant until next week when it comes to this Jackson Hole symposium, unless Powell talks about something this week, right? He's talking, what did I say? We got meeting minutes on Wednesday. And I said he was talking at some other point, didn't I? Where's Powell? Here we go. 1:30 on tomorrow. So he's talking 1:30 tomorrow, but that whole Jackson Hole, what do they call it? Symposium? Let's see. That's a big deal. Yeah, symposium. That's where all the Fed goes and meets. They do like a retreat, and they have a meeting talking about any kind of policy moving forward. Thank you. Coffee delivery. All right. So moving into the charts, the fun stuff. So looking at GJ, I did our kind of a skeleton of the higher time frames as we always break down. I don't want to waste any time on that, but as you guys could see, more recent price action. You got the current monthly candle flipping bearish and continuing bearish over here, looking like we are going to flip this, fill this wick, or at least retest 151,300, which we're at right now. But 151, 150 flat right over here. These previous candle body highs. But looking over here, we want to mark off 156 as always. There you go. Significant resistance over here. We got this whole range over here. Price finally reached 156, and now we're reacting to it. Looking like we could, based on technicals alone, looking like we could end up filling this wick over here and continuing down. So maybe we could get this play over here. But I am bullish on GJ. GJ is a risk currency. Obviously, economies are getting back to what they wanted to be or what they were pre-pandemic. So at some point, we're going to find some kind of a support anywhere in here to then continue right back up. But looking over here, let's look at the weekly and mark off a couple levels. So we got these previous candle body highs, previous candle body closes, and then you got the support over here that price is respecting. But right now, more recent price action, you really don't need to look anywhere past this way, or actually anywhere past here, because you got this price action right here. So you don't have to go all the way back here to look at what was going on, because you have all this clean area that you could be mirroring just on a technical standpoint. So we got our support right here, right? Got our previous resistance. Price came up to retest this area. We had that, significant resistance over here that we wanted to break above to then continue right back up and retest 156. But we failed to do that last week, and now we just ended up tanking right back down to this level of 151,300. Pretty big level right there. So right over here, previous support, you got this wick rejection, candle body closes, wick rejection, and then we're right back into that area. So are we going to hold support over here and continue up, or are we going to break below? Remember, we had our bearish trend over here, where we came back down, closed below the support, came right back down over here, and ended up faking out, coming right back above here. So now we're kind of in this range. We have this resistance right here that we need to break above. Again, we failed to do that. And we called that out last week as well of how we could have caught this based on recent price action and what has happened the last times price tapped into that area. I'll point it out in a second. But right now, we're in a very critical area right now where price, once we do break below, you do have a clean move to the left of about 180 pips over here that you could take advantage of, 190. So looking at the 4-hour, again, Stipe, what did we say last week with this price action over here? Every time we tapped into here,
Yeah, we rejected.
we just rejected every time.
So
And
by
the
the
boy,
way,
what was that?
so by the way, the gold is falling. So if you want to take a look for
Gold is falling.
potential trade, yeah, it's still in this range, but 1 hour can close like
4-hour
okay,
just flips.
okay, bearish candle. So maybe some support to form to continue further drop.
What we are doing is we're respecting this bullish trend over here. And we do have this support. So we got this high that we just created last week, right? There you go. We just created this resistance over here, making a lower high right over here and a lower low. Are we gonna end up flipping and tapping this low that we just created? Let's see, we are kind of in the range right over here on the 30-minute. But I do see us coming right back down based on this price action. I've seen this before, and this is where you could break it down to the lower time frames. Just as we were looking at GJ over here, we have this critical level over here on the 5-minute. Every time we tap into 1777, we end up rejecting it and coming right back down. So we could be coming down here. What I want to look for right here, and we could do a more in-depth analysis. We'll do it on the higher time frames down to lower time frames. But I want to see a break below this area and a close and possibly a retest. I could take it if we just close below. But keep in mind, we are in a bullish trend, and fundamentally, we are very bullish, right? Geopolitical issues, and that's very serious. U.S. going back to war is going to send gold right up, right? So with that market sentiment right now in the air, you got to keep in mind that gold is extremely bullish, and maybe we're just kind of some of these buyers from last week are exhausting to find a new support, grabbing liquidity to head right back up and retest that high, right? But again, more recent price action, we are scalpers. You have a nice clean move to the left. If we break this support, I will definitely be taking advantage of this if we get some clear price action over here. But right now on a Monday, maybe if this was Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd be taking this just to, a quick scalp right back down to the support. But right now on a Monday, just to open up the week, I want to start out fresh. So I want to wait for a nice clean move or close below the support before I take anything. That makes sense?
Yep.
Cool. So back to GJ over here. Stipe, Carlos, and I were paying attention to this last week on Friday and looking at how we could have caught this move right over here. I think we caught part of it, didn't we? Oh, what am I doing? Over here, you got this bearish trend every single time we tap into that area. So right now, we're right back down to that support. What has happened at that support? We just analyzed this, what happens at that resistance, but this is how you play ranges. The range, first of all, number one, has to be big enough. You can't play 10, 15, 20 pip ranges. You got to play nice, large ranges over here like this. This is This is a 200 pip range. So definitely you could take advantage of this on the lower time frames and get your quick scalps. So every time we've tapped into this area over here, we've tapped in, it's tapped in here, tapped in there. Now we're right over here. Got that bullish spike, bullish move, bullish reaction, and now is it safe to say that we could probably get the same exact thing? If we get some clean price action and a nice clean support formed right over here, where we get something similar over here, similar price action. History repeats itself, and that's all you want to do is you want to look at probabilities in the market and in your pair and see what's the highest probability that that's actually going to happen again. So looking over here at the 1 hour, we're starting to form support. Now we're still in the bearish trend. You're not just going to call bottoms like this out of nowhere. What you want to do, this is our bearish trend. I think you're going to have safe buys once we break and close above this level. Get a nice clean move right back up to the next resistance, 41 pips, right? Where price could come right back up to that resistance, clean move. At the 30-minute as well. Wait for price to break above that level. These are going to be high risk, high reward buys right over here. If we break and close above that, and safer buys for intraday trades or any kind of swing trades is going to be above this level right up here. 150, 152, 100, I would say. So these are going to be safer buys, but these will be high risk, high reward buys. What's up, Matej?
Hi guys.
How you doing, buddy?
Great. How you doing?
Good. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was quite great. Yeah.
Good to hear. You work at all or
Yeah, quite a lot.
yeah,
Busy weekend. Yeah.
losing that time, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Tough, brother. But it's all part of the plan, all part of what you got going on. It's a little adversity, that's all.
Yeah, I know.
Now also to point out, I'm just breaking down the pairs, Matej, but we're starting with GJ over here. But also what I like is that we're forming some kind of a double bottom over here on GJ, and this low is lower than this one. So this one's higher. That's probably a better way to put it. So this lower, this second leg of the double bottom is higher than the previous, which tells me that there's some buyer pressure in here that we could take price right back up. So looking at the lower time frames, I don't really want to trade in this. I'd rather wait for buys above here, especially on a Monday. But we could probably see price come right back up to this resistance over here. Do we have much room for that to happen? You only got about 10 pips right here. So, you don't want to trade in a 10 pip range. I would just wait for price to break above here, and you got a nice clean move to the top up here. We should all be able to catch that together. Sound good on GJ? Now, honestly, that's one bias, right? And that's based on history and what we've seen every time we tap into these levels. Same thing with this resistance over here. The same exact thing happens, right? Just as we just pointed out. But on the other side of that, on the contrary, what if we close below this level? You got a nice clean move, specifically below 151 flat. You got a nice clean move to come right back down. But I think if we close below this area, retest, and you get, your perfect break and retest over here, once we break that support, we should be coming down. Because look what happened last time that happened. We got the fake out, right? So wait for that break and retest below here on the higher time frames to take any kind of intraday or swing trade all the way back down to 149,500. Now, again, on the higher time frames, so far right now, we do look bearish, especially in the monthly. I just pointed this out. Monthly candle flip bearish. Monthly candle flip bearish, and it looks like we could be coming down to fill this wick based on tapping into 156 again. So just be aware of that. And you know, the bias should be fundamentally, it should be bullish, but right now we're just in that corrective state where we should be finding some kind of a support anywhere in here to then continue right back up. But right now, that's exactly what I'm looking for on GJ for any kind of buys. It's just a close above this level right here, the clean move to the left, and then also a close below 151.300 over here. Could mark that right there for any kind of recent price action. You know what? We'll get rid of that. We'll just keep this one right here. I'd rather wait for a close below this level to take price down. So 151.200. All right. So anything in here, I'm kind of staying out of. Looking over at gold right now. So gold, again, we ended up tapping into 1680 again, right? Let's actually let me erase all this. Gold, as you guys can see, we tapped into 1680. We'll mark off some of our levels over here. So we tapped into 1680, very significant level, as you guys know, historically. After being in this corrective state over here, forming our new highs. I'm looking at gold right now. Looks like we are dropping. We're coming down to that support over there. Perfect. But again, I'm waiting for that break below support. We'll get to that in a second. But right now, we ended up creating this wick over here and then rejecting right back to this level over here. 1767 was very significant. Multiple rejections over here. This candle came all the way up or all the way down and then retraced, closing or not closing yet, but coming right back above that support. So we just rejected this support one more time. Looking at the weekly, also rejected the bullish trend over here as well. Take a look. That's perfect. Do you see that? Tap multiple times over here. This candle ended up coming all the way down and flipping bullish. So what is happening right now on gold? We had this previous retest around 1910. Right over here, previous rejection of these previous candle body highs, just as we did back in 2012 with the retest before making that market recovery and tanking all the way back down to like the 1500s on gold before coming right back up in 2017. But right now, we just rejected this level again. So this is something that you want to take a look at. This candle ended up passing the high of that candle and then flipping bearish. But are we just grabbing liquidity right now to then continue right back up? Again, you got the geopolitical issues going on in the Middle East, very significant. And that should send gold right back up to these highs up here. So that's a play that we could take this week. Here you go. You got a significant support over here. We came right back into this range, tapping 1680, and now we're right back in. Got a clean move to the left. Is price coming down to retest and grab liquidity before heading up? Previous daily candle from last week ended up closing with no top wick, right? So now we're coming right back down to grab some liquidity, and I think we're going to head right back up, respecting the bullish trend that we've been in. Looking at the 4 hour, we have this resistance. Now, does that line up with anything specific? You got this previous support over here, where price ended up closing above these rejections over here, and then continuing up to form this support and continuing right back up. So could we get something similar over here? We are rejecting this area. If you look at the 1 hour, we've been respecting this bullish trend over here since making that NFP move all the way down. So now what are we doing right here? Right here, we are bearish, as of today, with some clean moves to the left, but as a whole, we are bullish. So maybe we're grabbing liquidity to head right back up, like we said in the higher time frames. But as I said, I'm waiting for specifically more of a break and retest below here to take this right back down. But if you get a nice clean close below the support, you may be able to grab maybe 20 pips out of this to take this right back down, maybe into this area over here. And this is an instance where I would probably be closing full instead of just securing. So if I get 10, 20 pips on gold, I'll probably just close the full thing, and that's my trade, right? Because I'm bullish on gold, but I know that we do have a clean move to the left. We are scalpers, we're volume traders, and we're looking for that best opportunity to squeeze something out of the market. And we know that we could get this corrective state with that clean move to the left. So we could be part of that bottom wick that we grab and then exit the full thing. Price ends up rejecting and continuing right back up to retest these highs, right? So looking at the 30-minute, again, we're right back at that support, like Stipe said. Right? Looking at the 15-minute, looks like we're in this area over here where I want a close below this support right here. Nice clean bearish close, and we could take this right back down. But again, you may want to wait for a retest, especially on a Monday. But you may miss it if that does happen. That sound good? Let's see, gold. It's here. And that is what we're waiting for. Here we go. GJ. As we said, price should be coming right back up to this resistance over here. Maybe we form some kind of a, let's see. We end up pushing right back up and we end up rejecting and continuing right back down. Or we end up closing above and then we could take this right back up with a clean move to the left. So let's see what we get. James, how was your weekend, buddy?
Yeah, it was good. How was yours?
Good, man.
Did you get up too much?
What was that?
Did you get up too much?
Yeah. I finally got back into the gym, which is nice. I don't know if you guys read my message in the announcement section.
Yeah, I read it.
Cool.
Can you walk like or?
Yeah, no, I could definitely walk.
Oh.
But what I was doing was like I would push this thing and then all of a sudden it would just feel like it was about to break. I don't know if anyone's had like a serious stress fracture, but this is something I've been dealing with because I was training on it while I was broken for months. I had no idea it was broken. I was jumping on it. I was this is back when I was doing a lot of jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts, boxing a lot. And I was training on it because I was overtraining myself, and that's how you gain stress fractures. That's what happens is putting too much stress on your legs, on your bones, and you end up getting these little fragments in your bone. And that's what happened to me because I was training maybe 3 or 4 times a day while I was up at school. And I was, like I said, I was jumping, rolling around with people, boxing, lifting, doing everything on this leg. I had no idea it was broken. It hurt like a motherfucker, but I didn't know it was broken. I was just kind of like sucking it up. And I think I did like damage to it over the long term because of doing that. So so now it's just something I'm dealing with. I rehab it all the time. When it comes to like when it gets serious like that, like I'll go ice it, put it in an ice bath with Epsom salts, all that stuff. And finally it's feeling a lot better. I was able to do a hike and a run this weekend. Got back into the gym, but for some reason, like I said, as I elaborated in that announcement, this maybe happens to me like once a year where I'll just get into like a funk where little things, and I never realized it till now, but little things kind of add up. And one of them, I think, was losing the Instagram. Another one was getting hurt again. Another one was getting a dog. Other was, like I said, personal shit going on in my life with the business, all that stuff. So a lot of it just kind of trickled in, and it festered almost to where you don't realize it. It's a slow turning effect on your life, but as these things start to pile on a little bit, like I said, you don't realize it. It doesn't get to you in the moment because that's not the type of person I am. I don't have anxiety or anything like that, but it starts to weigh on you a little bit. Then you start the self-sabotage where you're just like, all right, I'll wait till Monday, or I'll be good throughout the week up until Thursday, and then you start to slack a little bit, and then you just wait till Monday, and then you start that whole cycle all over again, and you can never kind of get it back. But I just took a step away this weekend. I was able to gain that momentum back finally. But again, I think it's something that, like, as I've talked to many different mentors, I've talked to Raquel about this as well. It happens where sometimes you don't take your own advice, and it's hard because you're so focused on other people that you're not so focused on yourself. And I've noticed that, and I've only been doing this since January. So I'm learning on a constant basis on how to be a better mentor. I think I could be much better for you guys moving forward. Obviously with my mindset being back to where it always has been. But like I said, I wanted to tell you guys that, and I wanted to bring that to your attention. One, because I feel like I haven't been putting as much into this as I could be, and I want to be completely transparent and honest with you. And also, it's a learning thing for you guys, right? You guys can learn from my mistakes. The dumbest thing a person can do, it looks like gold is dropping a little bit. Awesome. Stipe, I have a feeling you're in this right now.
I'm in from 1776.
1776?
Yep.
Beautiful, man. Did you secure it all?
Nope, small position.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to swing it.
Cool. Okay, cool. So what I was saying was, I think the second reason I told you guys was because I wanted you guys to learn from something like this, where when you lose that momentum, it could be because of multiple things in your life that maybe you haven't really paid attention to or noticed. So maybe this is something that maybe you guys take a step back in your life and you wonder, like, all right, maybe I'm not getting the most out of myself right now. Maybe I'm not pushing myself to the absolute limit that I possibly can on a daily basis to reach the goals that I want to accomplish, right? Maybe you're not realizing what those things are, and you just got to take a step back and look and do a self-diagnosis of whatever's going on in your life. If you want to talk about it or ask me more, not advice, but ask me more about what I was just going through, then absolutely, we'll hop on a Zoom or we'll do it this week. But again, what I was saying before is the dumbest thing somebody could do is learn all these mistakes on their own, right? And actually have to go through these failures and go through all these things instead of picking from different people that different people that you admire or look up to, different investors, different business owners, different people in athletics if you want to get into shape. You need to learn from their mistakes so that you don't make the same ones and you can get there twice as fast as they did, right? You're kind of using them as a guinea pig to where, they went through all those faults and now, you don't have to go through them. So, yeah, that's basically why I wanted to do that, and just obviously stay transparent with you guys. But we're all human. It's not easy, this life, is it?
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing.
How was your first workout?
That's
What was
makes
that?
it cool.
I was just gonna ask, how was your first workout?
I was amazing. Amazing. I went to Gold's on Friday, and it's cool. It was an awesome feeling getting back into the rhythm on a Friday, where naturally on a Friday, you just kind of want to relax, right? Long week, you worked hard, you did a lot of stuff in the markets or with your job, and you just want to kind of lay back, maybe get like an easier workout in. Friday, I just completely switched the mindset, and I was just like, I went to the gym and I did legs. I went and went upstairs. I stretched for like 10, 20 minutes, listening to a video like I always do. Hopped right on the bike, did like 6, 7 miles, and I actually rode my bike to the gym. 6, 7 miles on the bike at the gym to warm up. Did a nice like getting back into a leg workout where like I'm spending all this week kind of getting right back into it and being smart about it instead of kind of rushing into the workout, just to gain strength back and all that stuff. So especially in my leg, but and then I did a killer ab workout, could barely move them, and then right after that, got back from the city and went right on a hike. And then the next morning, I woke my fiance up. We woke right up, went right to Hartshorn again to do that hike as well. It's a nice big mountain right by where we live. So, we ran the trails, hiked it, sprinted up the mountain on the pavement. It was a good workout. It was good. So, spent the whole weekend kind of just gaining that momentum back, watching different things, listening to different things, listening to good audio books and all that stuff. Just like I go over in the course, whenever you get out of that momentum, get right back into it by taking action and not deciding, like not sitting there. Let's say, for example, like you're on YouTube and instead of watching an entertainment video, you're watching something that gets you better, either in the markets or in life or in anything. Make that quick decision to just do it instead of just like maybe I'll watch this for like 2-3 minutes and I'll go over to the other thing. No, make yourself earn that, right? Make yourself earn the videos that you want to watch or the entertainment that you have at the end of the day. Earn that throughout the week or earn that throughout the day, where every single day you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit. And then at night you can sit in your pillow after getting those daily musts done throughout the day, and you can sit there in peace knowing that you got the most out of yourself that day, and then you move on to the next one. Because you guys all have goals to reach individually. I've talked to all of you guys. I know all your goals and what you guys want to accomplish. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't pushing you guys to your absolute limit. Like I said, sometimes I focus a little bit too much on other people instead of myself. And that's what ended up happening over a longer period of time. But I'm not going to let that happen anymore. Not that I'm not going to focus on you guys as much. I know that I could be doing more where I could focus on you guys just as much as I am as I am with myself. I just need to learn how to balance that a little bit better. But it's all a learning process, and that's what you want to embrace as any profession that you're in. You always want to be constantly striving to get better. Like Stipe this morning, I was talking to you about your trade, and I was asking you, would you do anything differently? I did the same thing with James. You constantly want to be obsessed with getting better and doing things the right way with your trading and upping your skill on a daily basis. Because if you don't on a daily basis, and if you're not getting better by the end of the day than you were that morning, you're not doing your job and you're not moving closer to your goals. You're moving farther away. There's no staying stagnant. So that pressure you constantly need to have on yourself. And it's something that I'm used to that I got away from, but now I'm right back into it. And like I said, it only happens maybe once a year since I became, the person I am today after maturing and getting into what I've been doing the last couple of years and what I've been building. It probably happens like once a year where you kind of get in that funk and then you get right back out of it. This one's been a little bit longer than I expected, but nonetheless, it's a learning experience. You get better and you move on. Gold is messing around over here at this level. Paying attention to the 5-minute over here. Let's actually take a look at GJ over here. Take a look at that. What do we say? So 5-minute looks like it's breaking above. 30-minute is about to close above that resistance. That's perfect. So I want to wait for that bottom wick. Got a clean move to the left, a 40 pip range. So we could definitely be taking advantage of this today on GJ. Now, what I just said to you guys, I'll start with Pat, but did that did that trigger anything in you as far as like, wait a minute, maybe this is happening in my life that maybe I need to get more control over. Maybe it's holding me back a little bit, or maybe it's wow, there goes GJ. Which is fine because what we could do is wait for that retest. We get the high, we get the range that we could be reaching, get that support formed, and we take this right back up. But like I was saying, is there anything you feel like that's in your life that maybe this made you realize maybe I could either cut back on it or I need to do a little bit better with myself as far as goals and all that stuff is concerned? Is there anything like that for you, Pat?
Just trying to take in everything that you said. I'd say yes and no, in the sense that, so for me, I think I really needed a moment to just pause and reassess and actually just take a break, reassess where everything is at, and almost like re-energize and continue moving forward. Because I realized I've been on the go this whole year. It's been so incredibly busy. I'm naturally a very calm person, no anxiety or anything. But then, in taking that break, I realized how high strung I've been for the longest time. And it's because I've just been like on go constantly.
Yep.
So that in itself was important, just to have that opportunity to like center yourself. And, I think just given the week that I've had and also just a bit of fatigue, even before that, I have been in a bit of a funk. Obviously now compounded by like having COVID and whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I'm in that process where I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this? Like, what do I need to do to get out of this funk? How do I get myself back to my routine as quick as possible? That sort of thing. That's where I am right now. With
Okay.
the state of business. Yeah.
I'm sorry, were you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I think for anybody, well, before I get to that, I think, you had a massive change, which was awesome to see. And I love seeing it. I think you were the only one that actually really made it through it. But the 75 hard, I mean, even like your physical appearance looks different from when you first came into the group, from when you did the 75 hard. You realized a lot about yourself and you were on that constant go. Also, you run a team with your company, as well as doing, you just bought your first property, which is amazing, but also, trying to learn this and master this skill of trading. There's a lot going on. Plus you're married. You got a lot going on with that. Me and you both know that, right? So there's many things going on in your life. But what I've seen, no matter if you've been working out or not, like somebody that's new to the fitness game or somebody that's been doing it for a long time, that may be in a funk, the best way to get out of that funk or to get out or to gain that momentum and to get back to where you were is just one of the best workouts you could possibly get. Maybe if you need it, I'm not a big pre-workout guy. I don't like it at all. But if you need it to get yourself going, maybe the first day or two, take pre-workout, listen to a great, some kind of a motivational video, or not even that, but just listen to a podcast on the way to the gym, like a success podcast, like Ed Milet. There's many of them out there. I send a bunch in the podcast channel, but if you guys want one, let me know. But that's one of the best things you could do to gain momentum in every aspect of your life is just getting a great workout in. You feel great about yourself. You feel motivated, getting your diet right. Everything about that just makes you feel better. Even just eating right. Forget working out. If you just change your diet and you start eating right, you feel fantastic. You feel like $1,000,000, especially if you're drinking water on a daily basis, at least a gallon a day. You're going to feel a lot more energized. You're going to feel a lot more better about yourself. Then you add the fitness in there and it's game over. But let's say you get that in order, another way to gain that momentum is just by putting the work in your field, right? Like I always say, turn the lights off in your room, put some music on, and get into it when it comes to back testing or journaling any kind of, the past week or something like that, where you're really trying to dig into what you do for a living. All of us obviously are traders, so back testing would be the best thing to do. Do it for an hour or two and come out of that session, you'll feel like $1,000,000. Now, if you have a losing session on the simulator, don't let that discourage you. That shouldn't be something that's like, damn, I suck at this, or, why is this not happening for me, or why am I not good at this? It's a learning thing. You're not going to be good in the beginning. Plus, a lot of us are around like 2, maybe 3 years into trading, right? So you can't expect to be the best at what you're doing. You got to expect to not be very good right now, and that's okay. Not being where you want to be right now is completely okay, but you guys are all on the path to getting there. So you just got to put the work in. That's it. That's all it's about. But like I said, you want to gain that momentum right now, especially Pat. We were going more specifically into you. Like I said, get one of those workouts in that you were getting. I know you're a little fatigued from COVID, but maybe that'll wake you up a little bit. Maybe not today, but Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe you'll be ready for it. But I think that'll be huge for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, that's really something I'm trying to get back into. Just like my daily rituals of like reading every day is very important.
Yes.
Even just like eating healthy, because trust me, like when you're sick and you're miserable, why the fuck would you further, compound your misery by fucking eating lettuce and salads? Yeah, it just doesn't work that way in my household. So, you sort of go off the rails a bit now, trying to recover from all that, and get back to a point where I think I just feel in control, because right now I'm dealing with life and I don't feel in control, but I know it's a matter of time, Yeah.
I want to hit on that specific. I just need to use the bathroom real quick, but that's a perfect segue to what I just wanted to say about that. So, like, how to gain that control kind of back. All right. So, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, boys. All right. So, Pat, you with me?
Yeah.
So gaining that control, I think the number one way to do that is just sticking to the promises that you make to yourself. And it's a lot easier said than done, right? We all know that it's one of those things where you say you're going to do something, and maybe it's a little difficult to get to or anything like that, but or like you say you're going to work out that day and maybe you can't get to it. Get a little workout in, right? Do something small to say, like, all right, I actually listened to myself and did it. And that's just one example. But listening to yourself is what's going to gain that confidence, because you're going to be able to trust yourself a lot more with what you're doing. You're going to be able to trust yourself. Here we go. We got that tap of that trend line over here. And a little, not a fake out, maybe a fake out on the 1 or 5 minute, but price is coming right back into this range over here. And that's really why I like to wait for that retest if I'm calling tops in a bullish market, or if I'm counter trend trading. I'd rather wait for that retest, especially on a Monday. But we could very well continue to drop, but let's see what we get. But does that make sense, Pat?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're mature, you're older, you know exactly what that means. Sticking to your own word, it's very powerful, and the amount of confidence that you gain from it is it's unmatched.
No, absolutely. But yeah, not being able to work out is a bit frustrating, because doctor has specifically advised that we cannot, work out for like the next 2 weeks.
Ooh,
so we're just
really?
gonna get like walks, just gonna like be walking and doing light stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, another way to gain that momentum is just putting the work in. So instead of that time that you normally use to work out, use that to backtest now.
That is true, actually.
Right. So there's always a cause and effect, and there's always, if I can't do one thing, I can do another. Instead of spending that time, I don't know, on social media or anything like that. I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying in general, anybody. Instead of spending that time doing that, you're spending the time on something else to get yourself better. I know a lot of business owners that have. This is just one example, but business owners where you're trying to leverage your time, right? You're trying to buy your time back. So a lot of entrepreneurs say the first 100,000 is the hardest to reach. Once you get that 100,000, after that, it's a little bit easier to kind of do what you're doing. And the reason for that is because you can buy your time back. You can start hiring employees and doing more, having them do more of the things that you didn't want to do, or that maybe you're not as good at. Because in the beginning, when you're building a business, you are trying to learn every single aspect of that business, right? You're trying to learn every single aspect, and maybe you're not as good in every single aspect, and you'd be better off hiring other people. But right now you can't. You just need to learn the base. You need to learn everything about your business. That's why success in any kind of business, especially trading, as you guys see, takes 2 or 3 years to really understand every part of that business, to then move on and hire other people that specialize in that area of your business. Maybe it's sales, maybe it's marketing, to then leverage your time so that you can use that time to do something that you're more successful at. So let's say you're really good at sales, but you're bad at marketing. You're going to hire a marketer so that you could sell a little bit more and focus less on marketing, right? But the problem is a lot of entrepreneurs, let's say once you reach that 100,000, you start to coast, right? You end up leveraging your time and paying employees to do the things that you're not as good at. But at the same time, you're using now the free time that you just bought back on entertainment, on relaxing, on vacations, on doing all that stuff, instead of leveling up, learning new skills, getting better at your craft, and overall just increasing the capacity of your business. So it's the same thing for you, Pat. Like I said, since you can't work out, use that time to get better in another area. That way you're it's the same thing with me. When I thought I had COVID 2 weeks ago, instead of just hanging out and lounging and all that stuff, I spent a lot of that time back testing because I could. I finally got that time back. I was able to get that time back and pass drives on to the drivers that I've hired. So it was convenient. But does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
Awesome. So Stipe, do you feel like there's anything in your life that maybe is holding you back that we were just talking about?
Not currently.
Not currently?
No.
Awesome. So you were able to get back into working out?
That's what I'm waiting for. I gotta fix my knees. So
Your wrist?
knees. My knees.
Your knees. Oh shit! Yeah. What's going on with them?
The cartilages on both patellas are kind of damaged.
Have you had any kind of surgery?
Nope, but I have a genetical predisposition for bad. Just a second.
Sure.
I forgot the word.
All good.
Oh, for bad joints.
Bad joints?
Yeah. So I have a problem with thyroid. So I think that's everything connected. So I need to work that out completely. So before I do that, I can't afford to myself to do even bigger damage. So okay. I'm kind of thinking that it's better to be calm for some time and don't do anything. I mean, I'm not doing kind of anything. I'm trying to swim. I'm trying to use other things so that I keep moving, that I'm not stagnant. But that's my priority. I need to work it out.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I did actually when was it last summer? My leg was bothering me, so I couldn't do much running. But what I did was I kayaked a lot. Like I went to kayak from I did it from Atlantic Islands to the tip of Sandy Hook. If you guys know, if you guys are from my area, which none of you guys are, that's a pretty long kayak. But what I wanted to do was from Jersey to Brooklyn, New York, which would have been quite the hike. But yeah, that's just a little side note. But yeah, kayaking is awesome. It's all upper body, all hips, all arms, all shoulders, all back. It's an amazing workout, especially in some rough seas. But Stipe, for you and any of you guys dealing with any kind of injury, highly recommend reading this book that I recently sent into it's Trading in the Zone. Here we go. TB12 method. So this is amazing. So what he talks about is that workouts and any kind of athletics are split into 3 different parts. It's strength training, cardio training, and pliability. A lot of people ignore the pliability part, including myself until now. Pliability is basically preventing yourself from getting injuries. So most people, what they do is, they'll get injured and they'll rehab themselves. They'll ice, they'll do all that stuff, and they'll start that whole cycle every single time they get hurt, right? But the reason that he's been able to play, he's 42 right now. He's looking to play till he's 45. He just won a Super Bowl last year. There's a reason he's able to do what he can do is because he prevents himself from getting all these injuries. And how does he do that? From a lot of stretching, a lot of, deep tissue massages in those areas that he has issues with. Like for him, it was his shoulder, I believe it was, his knee. Like his doctor told him it would take him anywhere from 13 to 14 months to get himself right back, after in 2008, he tore his ACL. After that, his doctor told him it would take him, 12 to 14 months. Like I said, it only took him 6 months to come back to full capacity, right? And that's because of what he was doing with this pliability, increasing and making sure that he's getting the most out of himself as far as like stretching and all that stuff is concerned. So highly recommend you guys read this book. I think Pat, you would like this a lot. Stipe, great for your knees, I'm sure. Matei, I forget if you had issues or not. I think Tiger does as well. What's up, Tiger?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Still up in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm actually staying here in Jersey, your area,
Are you really? We're in Jersey.
in Montclair.
Montclair. Okay, so you're about an hour away from me. Here, I'll pull this up real quick. Gold starting to push.
Sounds like a good book to read.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. I highly recommend getting the audiobook too, because he reads it to you. So you could hear like the passion in his voice and him talking about these different things. So that's pretty cool. Let's see.
I have so many books. Reading 3 books at the same time and like so many more lined up. It's fucking.
Right now you are?
Sorry?
Right now you are?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really
Nice. Which books?
good. So I'm reading Market Wizards because I've never read that.
There you go. The first one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Then I'm also reading there's a book that Sharma highly recommended, A Random Walk Down Wall Street.
Oh yeah. It's a great one.
Have
Especially for fundamentals.
Have you read that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, reading that. And then reading another book just called Purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, random book.
What's that about?
Pretty much as the title suggests.
Yeah, figures.
Yeah.
Finding your purpose or
just understanding it a bit better, understanding what it means, understanding, you know, where it comes from, and understanding that it can be fluid.
okay.
It doesn't have to be, you know, like static.
Set in stone.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I just started it anyway, so we'll see.
Yeah, let me know. Who's it by?
Let me find it for you now.
So Tiger, you're right up here. So you're kind of you got New York right over here, Manhattan. You're right over here. I'm all the way down here in this area.
Oh, okay.
So what I was talking about actually while we're on here, that kayak trip what I took was from over here, Atlantic Highlands, all the way to Sandy Hook. But what I wanted to do was go all the way to Brooklyn, Coney Island over here. And it just would be very difficult because this is one of the biggest ports in the world, and you got cargo ships coming in here all the time. So it'd be pretty dangerous. So I'd need like a boat next to me, but it would also have to be calmer waters too. But this would be quite the kayak trip right there.
Watch out for the sharks.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's definitely something you want to be aware of. I've seen a whale out there. I want to say this was July 4th, actually, 2 or 3 years ago. I was out there and I was about, I want to say 20 feet away from a whale in the Sandy Hook Bay over there. Pretty eye-opening shit. It's a little weird, but it's pretty cool.
There are no sharks in my area here, so maybe a bonus for kayaking here.
In Croatia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really rare situation that people even see them. So
Yeah, it's I can only, I mean, they don't have much in the Mediterranean, right?
yeah,
They do have sharks?
As I know, no. I mean, that's not 100% no, but there are, but mostly not the ones that attack humans, not aggressive ones.
Okay. Oh, so not like a great white. You're not going to see a great white in.
Those guys are in
No.
my area.
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys got a lot down in
Yep.
South Africa. Holy shit. That's like the home of sharks, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say the Gulf of Mexico, and down in like Cape.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, yeah, Cape Town has a lot of sharks down there. And are these great whites? Or are these hammerheads? Or are these
Yeah,
sharks?
you have yeah, great whites.
Yeah. So, do you guys even go in the ocean?
Yeah, we do.
Probably like Florida, right?
With
Yes,
body armor or what?
What?
So I mean, you have areas where they're more common, and you know, random people going to the beach hardly come across them. It's mostly like surfers,
Sure.
you know, because
Yeah.
they go further out and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're the ones that encounter sharks more. But other than that, nah, not really. It's not common for like shark attacks are not that common.
So most shark attacks I hear happen from 30 feet out in 3 feet of water.
Yeah. Also depends on the time of the year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got their seasons, right?
Yeah.
And they feel like eating people.
Or they're just attracted by the fact that maybe they're seals. And like seals are like perched or in the area. You know, obviously it attracts the predators and that sort of thing. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they love those things.
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock is about to come around. So we get the 1 hour, which is nice. About to close below that support, which is what we want. And we got that low created right here. So if you guys are thinking about taking sells, wait for the 1 hour's top wick to form. We got that 8 o'clock volume. Maybe we could take this down. I'll be little concerned about taking sells if the 1 hour literally closes on this trend line. But again, what we want to see is that retest, and then we can take this down. Got a nice clean candle right here.
Maybe the only concern is looking at 15 minutes. We have a small support on the left.
Yes. Yeah.
If we break that, then we have a really clean traffic downwards.
What I think though, I mean, you're definitely right. This is something that you want to take a look at, and I would actually make this thinner. But this is a support on the 15-minute, so it's not as strong as if you saw that on the 30-minute, right? On the 30-minute and the 1 hour, you got a nice clean move. So if we close right down here on the 1 hour below support, and we come up to retest like this, I really think that we could end up coming all the way down here. But again, you could be right where we tap into this area on the 15-minute, right? And that ends up creating a wick, and then we reject, and we end up closing above this trend line, faking out and continuing right back up. Right? So we'll see what we get. We got 2 minutes left. And as far as GJ is concerned, this is awesome. We are getting a retest over here, just as we said. So let's see if we get a nice clean close, a nice support formed over here, at least on the 15-minute on GJ to take this up. But again, we could just be creating this lower high over here to then continue right back down, kind of like what we did over here. Because as you guys can see, we tapped into this trend line, continued down, held support, broke support, came right back up above that previous support, retesting this trend line, and then faked out, continuing all the way back down. So could we be coming down, creating the support down here, coming up to retest this trend line, and then continue right back down? Very well could. So that's why we want to wait for the retest on a Monday. Tiger, is this your first time out here?
Yeah,
Nice. What do you
checking
think?
out the. It's pretty nice. You know, I hit a lot of different spots yesterday. I went to Brooklyn, just kind of explored Manhattan.
What'd you think?
It's nice. You know, it's definitely a big change of scenery from where I'm from.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not at its potential, I feel like, right now. You know, it's not like the hustle and bustle. You got thousands of people walking on the street on any given sidewalk, right? But right now, it's just you got COVID going on. Not many people out there. You got a lot of crime. Very poorly run by politicians in New York, but you know, hopefully we get it back. I don't think it'll come back unless companies go back to at least 50% in the office.
Yeah, I went to check out Wall Street yesterday too. It was pretty eye opening.
Now, what parts of the city did you explore? You got Wall Street. What else?
So we started off by just heading directly towards Wall Street, and then we headed up to the Oculus,
Okay.
and then I think we ended up just crossing over to Brooklyn, just kind of sightseeing like the Brooklyn Bridge, like underneath it, and just kind of looked out to like the Statue of Liberty.
Cool. Well, you went to the Statue of Liberty?
No, we just kind of looked over to it. It was still out there in the distance. I didn't really get to see it up close.
Oh, were you in Battery Park?
I don't remember exactly. I just
Oh, the
know I was
financial
like,
district?
yeah, I was like right underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. They were taking like boats out. I was just kind of had like a nice little overview of Manhattan.
True.
Yeah, it was just a lot of walking. Good. And then the day before, I was able to go out and explore Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square is definitely that what do you want to call it? Like the tourist area.
Yeah, that's where you get like the whole experience.
Exactly. Trying to see. Hold on one sec. Looking for something for you. See how gold reacted to this trend line over here? Stipe, you still in this?
Yeah, I'm holding.
Okay. Can't find a good one. Kind of disappointing. Here we go. Can you guys hear Bloomberg in the background? No.
A little bit.
All right. So this is Battery Park, Tiger. Right down here, this is the whole financial district, Wall Street. But Battery Park is right here, and you could see Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island over there from there. Beautiful park to be in. Just awesome to hang out, take a chill, relax, eat some lunch or something.
I think, yeah, that looks like that might be where I went.
Get the Brooklyn Bridge right here, then Manhattan, and then Williamsburg Bridge.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Trying to get a little bit familiar.
you basically stay down here.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure because we took a train think we crossed over to Brooklyn for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Cool. What's pretty interesting is you guys see this road right here that runs all the way up. It's called Broadway. So that used to be an old Native American trail back when the Native Americans kind of settled down in the financial district before the Dutch came in and kind of took over and kind of like pushed them north. But there used to be a wall going through here and like water as well, like a waterway that went all the way through Manhattan, and they closed that off. The wall was kind of to guard the civilians over here from any kind of threat up north, because this all wasn't developed yet. It was only the bottom tip of Manhattan when the Dutch came in. But then the English actually came in, pushed the Dutch up to Greenwich Village. Peter Stuyvesant, who like kind of founded New York from the Dutch, kind of pushed him up to Greenwich Village, where he actually founded Greenwich Village. There's a lot of like historical stuff up there, but back to trading. No more history lessons. So it looks like we got that fake out over here. Again, we see this time and time again in an uptrend where price breaks that support, kind of fakes out and comes right back into the range. So let's see if we get any higher risk kind of a trade over here where we know that price could be continuing right back up. Let's look at the 5 minute. The 5 minute closed right back into the range. We ended up breaking market structure right here. We've been respecting. All right. So we ended up creating this high up here. Are we going to come down to create a support on the 5 minute? We could take this up for a higher risk, higher reward kind of an entry. As our friend Jevin likes to say. Matej, how about yourself? Is there anything in your life that you feel like is kind of holding you back from reaching your full potential that you really haven't noticed? Kind of like what I was talking about in the announcement section. I think before you got in here, I was really diving deep into that and what I was talking about in there. But is there anything that you feel, just like I was talking about before, where I didn't notice it? Because in the grand scheme of things, I don't get too excited. I never get like flustered over anything happening in my life. This might be a good opportunity for gold over here. Is that an opportunity we want to take today? It's a nice rejection right here. Was there anything like that, Matej, for you?
Well, I don't think there's such a thing. I think maybe the hardest thing for me was to find a proper balance between all the things going on. But there's not really one specific thing. It's just a mixture of everything and trying to deal with everything. But so far, I think I managed pretty good.
Would you say work is the one thing that's holding you back?
Well, maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, I work out, I study, I trade, I backtest. So from time to time, it gets so busy that I'm really overwhelmed. But yeah, I think. But I mean, I think it's in a positive way because all of this is going to come out to be better at the end.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, if there's anything that I could do, you know I'm here, man.
Yeah, I know.
We should, you know what? Wait, Matej, we need to hop on that Zoom. Tiger, we're doing it right after the session, right?
In quite a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been too long. We gotta catch up, man.
Yep.
All right, so Matej, when you available this week?
Maybe Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I got to go over with my clients what my schedule is going to be this week, and then once I do that, I'll let you know what Wednesday looks for me, and then we'll talk about it then.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Awesome, man. So I just entered a. I thought someone was talking. I just entered a buy on GJ as we started to form this support over here on the 5-minute. We've seen this time and time again, where we get that rejection, which is beautiful over here. I could have actually entered this earlier after that close, but let's see if we get this fake out right back to the upside over here. I think we should. For right now, as we always do, let's take a couple screenshots over here. Eight, 16, 21 at New York. Get the 4 hour over here. James.
What's up and back?
There he
You
is.
taking any trades?
Yes, I'm in gold buys right now. Price. Just in the middle of journaling it real quick. Dude, I like this new feature on Trading View. Does anybody journal on a regular basis that noticed that? Instead of like opening that little window when you go to click on this, you have multiple choices. So like if you guys want to send a chart into the group, just copy the link to the chart image. And then let's test this out actually.
Oh yeah, that's what I got my link this morning. Actually, I didn't notice it.
You didn't notice till today?
Yeah, like I just thought it was
There you
always
go.
there.
Yeah, it works. I like that. What's it called? But the main thing is like copy chart image, and then you could just copy that into Trello, which I like. Let's see what happened in Haiti.
But what happened?
Terrible earthquake.
Oh shit.
There's a lot going on. Got Taliban taking over the Middle East again.
Yeah, I only just realized that yesterday.
Ridiculous. It's like 20 years just went down the drain.
Yeah, like I follow this guy who travels around the world, and he said it's one of his favorite countries. And he said the people there are so like nice and everything. It's just awful to see. He said.
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ex and current, I mean, no current Navy SEALs, I would say, but a bunch of ex Navy SEALs that I follow on Instagram. One of them is Tim Kennedy, who used to be a UFC fighter as well. Won a couple fights in the UFC, but he's an ex-Army Ranger. Yeah, he's not a Navy SEAL. He was an Army Ranger, and he was just shouting them out, saying like, just beautiful country. He's heartbroken over what's going on right now. Like I said, just 20 years down the drain, where we were able to defeat them. We defeated them definitely a couple of years ago. We defeated ISIS in like a year. Once Trump came in, it was kind of crazy. He just wiped the floor with ISIS, because the Obama administration put such a chokehold on the military as far as spending goes. I would listen to these different podcasts of ex-military members talking about the lack of ammo, the lack of uh, uh, resources that the military would have under Obama compared to Trump, and he injected like $2 trillion into the military. And once February of 2017 came around, he just cut all the tape. He took all the boundaries off, and he was just like, go. And we kind of just wiped the floor with ISIS in 1 year. We were fighting them, I don't know how long, but now all of a sudden, we were able to create peace in the Middle East as well. And now it's I don't know, it's such a shame. Just think about all those people that lost their lives fighting in that war after 9/11, or their families thinking like, all right, what did they do that for?
And did Biden still have the budget for the military, or did he cut it?
I was wondering the same thing. I honestly, I think he kept that, the same. There's a couple Trump policies that he kept in place, even though they do all they can to do the exact opposite that he did. And one of them was keeping the what's it called? The tariffs on China. Keeping that hard stance on China, which is good. But the other one, I think, is keeping the military spending budget. I don't think they did anything with that, but I'm not too sure. That's a good question. 30-minute, 15-minute. Couple chart image. Yeah, so normally after a fake out like this, you normally see like a nice continuation up. 15-minute, not much retracement, just straight bullish price action. But I'm probably jinxing myself right now. Take this on the 1 minute. It's another terrible thing is when we left Afghanistan, we left a bunch of weapons and everything that they now have access to. It's just like a debacle of policy. Like no plan to actually leave the right way. Now, as we always say, we have exit plans for this trade. With it being the 1 minute, I'm a little bit more inclined to let it breathe a little bit. So if we start breaking this market structure and passing the low of this impulse bullish candle, then I would end up closing half. But looks like we get that. Yeah, I'm not gonna add any more risk to this. I'm just gonna let it ride up. But yeah, that's my exit plan. Yeah, you know who I was thinking about with all this stuff is Rakil just moved to Pakistan. Like right next to Afghanistan.
Yeah, but he said there's no any problems near the border. It's kind of far away from him.
Well, that's yet, right? So think about what happened in the Afghanistan war, the one Iraqi freedom. At that point, what were the Pakistans doing at that point? They were housing Osama bin Laden. They were housing a lot of the Taliban. And if they are able to take Afghanistan, this could be their opportunity to move right into Pakistan again. So, I mean, as of yet, they're not in there. But if this starts to fester and continue to get worse, then there might be a little something that he needs to be aware of. Dude, this footage of these people in the Kabul airport, oh my God.
It's insane, isn't it? They're all fighting each other.
They're fighting each other, trying to get onto the plane. People are falling off the stairs. I mean, I don't blame them. Everyone's trying to get out of there, but oh man, that's terrible. What a mess. So GJ over here is starting to come right back into the range. 323. Oh, we ended up getting a bullish 15-minute candle close over here. I would want this candle to flip bullish, and we're trading against the trend, so I need another bullish close right over here. Honestly, maybe a 30-minute bullish close above this support, and maybe that'll give you confidence for this to continue right back up.
Gold is dropping again.
I know.
Be aware.
Yep. So what did I say right over here? I actually got into 15 pips in profit. I never secured anything. But I never added risk either. I was just, it's a 1 minute entry. It's risky.
Welcome to the club.
What was that?
Welcome to the club. I'm not securing at 15.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at this level right over here to see if we end up, crossing it. And if we do, then we're gonna end up closing 50 over here. But this was strictly based off of the fake out and the uptrend of gold and how with the geopolitical issues going on right now in the Middle East, again, that gives us confidence that price should be continuing up on gold with all that pressure. So right here, I think maybe we were just grabbing liquidity over here as 8:30 turns around. So we'll see what we get over here. Justin, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
How was the weekend?
It was good. How's yours?
Good. You sound a little under the weather.
Yeah, I've been a little sick lately, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm getting better.
Pat has or just had COVID.
Yeah, I don't think it's COVID, but the weather's changing a little bit here in Colorado and I get allergies, so I think it might be sinuses or allergies or something.
Could be. You're a mile high up there, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little up there,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Maybe it's harder to breathe.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
feel
what I
that?
was- What the like when you work out and stuff?
I mean, it could be when you're working out, but maybe even when you're just, walking around. Maybe you're probably just used to it.
Well, you're used to it, but like if I were to go to like Las Vegas where it's like at 2,000 feet above sea level, I mean, I feel like I could run for days.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a big difference. I mean, when I'm here, I really don't notice the difference because I live here.
Yeah.
But like if you were to come here and try to work out,
Mhm.
you'd probably be winded.
Or
Or
that's why it's always
you know,
difficult when teams come to play the Nuggets. They come to play the Broncos. They always have
Right.
difficulty
Yeah, they definitely do.
trying to get used to it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Tiger's in here as well. So you two definitely want to do the fantasy league, correct?
Yeah. I think that'd be cool, but I guess it depends on how many people that we have,
Well, I feel like majority of the guys that we have are from Europe, so obviously they don't watch American football. But we do have Giovanni, we have Tiger, we have you, we have me. I can probably get James to do it. I think James. Who else was it? There was somebody else that I had. Tiger, you said, yeah.
If you could pull in at least like 10 people minimum, it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 people would be ideal. If we had 8, that's fine. I think, did I ask Gio?
The teams would be stacked.
Yes, Gio. Oh, that's Noah. Honeywell.
I just drafted my last team and I don't know how I feel about it.
Let's hear it.
I took Najee Harris in the first round.
Oh man, what the hell?
With the 9th pick.
Damn, why?
I just didn't like anybody else in that spot. Like I don't know how I feel about Aaron Jones or Nick Chubb.
Okay. But you could have taken a receiver.
I could have, but I think I got my guy DK in the second round. At the top of the second. I was gonna plan on getting him regardless.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this season. It's definitely feeling different as a Jets fan, right, Justin? You finally get something to look forward to a little bit. I mean, you felt that last year.
Right. Well, this year it's everybody's talking about how good they're going to be, but I'm just kind of worried because every offseason that the Browns end up having a good offseason, the next season ends up being an absolute disaster. So I'm just like, I hope not.
I think they got the right pieces in place. They looked good against who they just play Jacksonville, right?
Yeah. No, the defense looked good against Jacksonville. They had a pretty good pass rush, and the second round pick out of Notre Dame looked good.
Who?
He had a bunch. His name's Joke. I don't know how to say his name. The linebacker from Notre Dame.
Okay.
But because he had a sack, a forced fumble, 8 tackles, and 3 tackles for loss. So
Damn.
Everyone was real excited about that.
Well,
And
awesome.
the defensive line starters didn't play either, which was good. Well, not good, but he was pretty productive considering that too. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool. 1 minute.
I was in a Penn Station and I saw the Jets and Giants fans rushing to the game.
Oh, really? From Manhattan?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I always see them like when we go into the games. We're coming from Jersey, so we're either driving or, I've never really been in Manhattan. I'm used to like going to Knicks games and seeing people in Manhattan and Penn Station, especially, and the bars. But
I know the Knicks and the Nets have a pretty big rivalry, but I don't know about the Giants and the Jets.
they've never had it's just like an in-town rivalry between the fans. I know a lot of the players from each team get along. And then the Snoopy Bowl, which we just had, the the annual preseason game. It's always like for like bragging rights. So we just won it this year. Not that it really matters, but yeah, the Knicks and Nets, especially in the next coming years, within the next not within, but this year, next year, the year after that, it's going to be an ongoing rivalry between them because both teams are definitely on the rise and both teams are doing the right things as far as building around their stars and just have a competent front office for once.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for the Knicks. I like teams that are like rebuilding with young players.
Do you like the Knicks, you said?
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Knicks over the Nets just
Awesome,
because
man.
of their like underdog status.
Yeah, the Knicks gained a lot of fan. I mean, that they're I think top 3 most valuable franchises in sports right now. I think coming in at like $4 billion or something like that, or $2 billion. But they obviously they have a lot of fans in New York, but they really gained a lot this year just because we were supposed to be in the lottery and all that stuff, and we ended up going to the playoffs, and we were that underdog team that just would never give up. People like that, especially New Yorkers.
Yeah, and I feel like players would like they don't have a problem going over and playing for the Knicks.
Yeah. Gold trade is looking good so far. Let's see some levels over here. I don't want to get greedy over here. That was a nice, strong 30-minute candle right over here after the fake out. So we should be continuing right back up. But could we be rejecting 1777 over here? I'm hoping we cross above it, but we'll see. Where's my take profit? 779. I don't know why I put it up there, but let's see what we get. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. So the 30-minute candle ended up closing bullish over here on GJ. Oh, there we go with gold. Okay, gold. Okay, gold. So we're gonna go stop loss at entry. I'm 22 pips in profit. I'm going to close half right now. at resistance right over here, and I'm at break even. So looking for price to continue right back up to 1782, retest that level and continue right through there. I'm just gonna take a couple screenshots, bear with me. Anybody else grab this?
Yeah, I'm in this one too.
Good shit, bro. Welcome back, Tiger.
Mhm.
15.
Yeah, I took it at 1774, but then I got stopped out at break even, but then I re-entered at around the same price.
Okay. This is one of those where you wish you risked a little bit more. But that's okay. I just canceled my take profit just because I can see this little scalp based on the 1 minute. And Justin, you were the one asking about how to catch swing trades.
Well, I was just curious if anybody uses lower time frame breakout strategies, because I was reading about US 30 that the best way to play it is for breakout strategies. I was curious, what are some breakout strategies others might be using that maybe I'm not looking at?
True. Yeah, no, hold on. Yeah, I think that was something different. I think before that, maybe last week we were talking about you know, you were looking on how to catch some swing trades.
Oh yeah, because my because with getting the kids to school and stuff, it's just
Exactly.
not possible I just need to change my strategy in terms of the time frames, just so it's like kind of longer time frame.
Exactly. What we called this morning and what we were breaking down, I gotta sneeze, so bear with me if I do. Is we reached these highs up here last week, right? And then we ended up getting into this corrective state. This was actually a previous support over here, right? So now we were just correcting, buyers coming out of the market and looking for a new support to form, right? So what we were looking at this morning was we were looking at a possible sell position because we got these clean candles to the left, right? But we were waiting for candles to close below and retest this area. We were only going to take sales if that happened, right? We're in this bullish trend. We don't want to trade against the trend over here. And again, fundamentally, we're very bullish. New York Stock Exchange open is right around the corner. So I bet gold is going to continue right back up. So that's why I'm holding this and I canceled my take profit. But we're looking at this and I said, there's a high probability that we're going to get a fake out over here. And we followed that all the way down to the 1 minute, where you see at the 5 minute price starting to turn over here. You see this bearish trend over here for me as well. You have multiple confluences based on the 1 minute too. Candle closed above. We come right back down. We reject with this little doji bullish candle right here. And I ended up taking this a little bit late, but ended up putting, you know, I could have taken this here or as this candle closed. But there's multiple confluences here, breaking the bearish trend technically, coming up, creating a high, coming right back down to reject to continue right back up. That's one confluence. Another one is fundamentally geopolitical issues going on in the Middle East. Another one, we're in a bullish trend on the higher time frames, and we're just in this corrective state to then continue right back up. This is a very GJ-like setup over here that we normally get on GJ, where we create this high, we come down, retest the bullish trend, then we come right back up to retest the high. I remember us getting something very similar on the higher time frames on GJ months ago. Let's see. was right here. We were respecting bullish price action right over here, right? Creating higher highs, coming right back down and retest the trend and continue right back up to retest the high. Continue right back up here, retest the trend and continue right back up. But pay attention to this right here. This setup right here. Going down the time frames. Have it right here. Where we ended up creating this high up here. We don't exactly have the clean move to the left, but it looked like we were in this corrective phase where we're breaking down and maybe we're going to correct some of this move over here. But we ended up retesting that trend line and having this straight move right back up. Now, how does that look like when it comes to gold right over here? Is we're respecting the bullish trend. We created that high and now we have that fake out to continue right back up. So this is just how you can catch. Normally I don't do this on the 1 minute, but it was a great opportunity. But sometimes you could get this on the 5 or the 15 minute, which that scalp turns into a swing based on all those different confluences that you have. So that'd be good for you.
The thing I notice sometimes with gold is like when it's going in that uptrend, like how you how you uh how you got it in that uptrend, and then there'll be a channel down. That's like prime for it to keep ripping back up. You know what I mean? There's like
I
a
didn't
brief,
get what you meant by there'd be a channel down.
like if you look on your chart that you have there, you can tell there's like a channel kind of down. Like if you draw from that long bearish candle just below the resistance,
Right
like
here.
yeah, like a trend line from there down, yeah, to there, and then you kind of have another one in the bottom of that big bearish candle that you just, yep,
Oh, channel. Okay.
channel, yeah. And so there's like so to me it looks kind of like a channel a little bit down, and then it's just going to rip right back up to retest that high, and then probably keep going.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we got these fundamentals behind our back. Then we got the New York Open coming right up at 9:30. So we'll see if we get something like that. Right now, I just reached 50 pips over here. I'm just gonna let this thing keep riding because there's nothing that should stop us. Like you see this clean move right here. You see the significant resistance of 1782. We've already broken this resistance over here. So who says that this is just going to stop right here and then all of a sudden completely reverse coming down, right? I'm risk free right now. So, you know, you shouldn't be so worried about price being right up here. Maybe you just need to see it enough, but price should, like we're looking at probabilities always in trading, but price should be continuing right back up to 1782 to retest these highs up here. So I'm just going to keep this thing in and I'll secure once we get up there. Dude, people running this country. Beautiful. 60 pips. 64. Stipe, you still on sales?
I wasn't secure anything, and I got out at -5. Kind of down best.
You broke up that whole time. What was that, Stipe?
Oh, you didn't understand.
It,
I
it
was-
just really broke up. I don't know if it was just
Oh,
me
sorry.
or everyone else, but yeah, I couldn't understand you.
Maybe it's my connection. So I was at 50 pips and I haven't secured a thing.
You didn't secure a
Because
thing?
No, I expected it to drop down because everything was, well, the setup was great for breaking it out. It broke the lows and I didn't look at the 30 minutes. If I'd seen this 30 minutes in time, I would close it. So when I'm talking about this small 30 candle, which is bearish, the lowest one. Touch. Yeah, that one.
Got it.
And after it passed its high, I just said, "Fuck it, it's all or nothing," and it was nothing.
All right. I mean, you learn, right? But everything that I said, does that make sense to you though? Like we're in this bullish trend. You really want to just wait for that retest over here. You got a nice trade from up here, right? Like that was nice, and this is something that I would have taken two on a Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe not on Monday. Plus, with me being, my bias being all bullish fundamentally, I would have waited to take this and that. But I like this trade that you took right here to come right back down. But like I said, this is somewhere where I would have secured the full thing, or most of it once we tapped into this trend, because this is a trend we've been going since Sunday of last week, right? We've just been tapping into this area, higher lows, higher highs, coming right back down, a little bit deeper of a correction, kind of like what we had over here. But once we tap into it, we continue right back up, and we have the fundamentals on our side. So yeah, this is something if I did take those sells, the reason why I didn't was I wanted to wait for that retest once we got this candle closed right here. But second, it's just everything's bullish right now. So let's.
With the daily flipping bullish, it looks like it could head up to like 1800.
Yeah, absolutely. So I ended up securing half, 3, 4 closed, 50%. Pips. And then I just secured a little bit up here once this candle closed at 71. Just a little bit though. Another 70 pips. Yeah, Bloomberg was just saying that the Fed could be in a really difficult spot. They're already in a difficult spot, but if we go to war, they're in an even worse of a spot. Powell's in a tricky spot right now.
It seems like we're in the opposite of going to war.
Well, I mean, they pulled out with no plan, right? And
right. Well, what's gonna happen in Afghanistan is they have essentially $2 or $3 trillion worth of minerals in the ground, and China has extended an olive branch already, asking um, to maintain a good relationship with the Taliban. And so China's going to go in and get all those minerals that they want. And for the time being, at least, there's going to be money coming into to Afghanistan. And I don't know, because, I'm sure everybody's seen the news events that's been going on. And it's going to be bad for the people, but for the Taliban, it'll be good. But I mean, I'm with you. It was so bad to pull out. I mean, it's just the worst possible time. I mean, the CIA said that it would take approximately 90 days for the Taliban to retake over Kabul, but it took 72 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, no plan. I mean,
It was a political stunt because the 9/11 anniversary, 20 years, is right around the corner. And they're like, oh, we want to be home before that. You need a plan. And they haven't had a plan about anything, if you want to get into all that. But it's just like, like you got to think. And you got to think, like you just said, China's got to be loving this, because what I was saying with what was going on with Cuba, that ended up not being much of a big deal. But I thought that that would be a catalyst between us, Russia, and China, if we were to go defend the people of Cuba. But now this is happening in the Middle East. China probably loves it. Iran probably loves it. China probably loves it, right? So, or not China, but Russia. So I don't know, man.
Because I was surprised to hear whenever everybody was evacuating their embassies, and Russia said that they're not going to evacuate their embassies, that they're pretty confident that the Taliban won't touch their embassy. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty ballsy. But
You're saying Russia said that?
yeah, but I forgot that Russia has had a kind of a long history with a war with the Taliban, and
Oh yeah.
with Russia being much stronger military than they have been the last 20 years. Yeah, so I think they left their embassy alone, but it was just seemed like a big risk.
Yeah, I mean, you saw 2 days before all this happened, Biden was saying that there's no chance of this happening, right? The reporters were asking him if our ambassadors or anybody in the embassy is going to have to be evacuated. He's like, no shot. There's no chance that they could take it over. Two days later, you see helicopters leaving there with a bunch of U.S. Ambassadors and people working for the embassy. The U.S.
Right,
U.S. literally just suspended all evacuation flights from Kabul, as hundreds of Afghans are fleeing. They're flooding the runways, so they can't even take off.
Well, I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but one of the last U.S. Air Force cargo planes left, and there's video of Afghans trying to jump on the plane as it's taking off to the landing gear, and then you see it taking off, and you can see Afghans falling from the plane as it's in the air. I mean, that's how bad most of these people think that the Taliban is going to be, and they're probably right. I mean,
they probably lived through it.
Right. They know a whole lot better than I.
Yeah.
But I mean, that just shows the desperation.
Think about it. If these guys doing this are in their 20s, they lived their whole lives through war-torn Afghanistan, with us being over there fighting ISIS and Al-Qaeda for the last 20 years after 9/11. So if they're in their 20s, they've been, they were what, in first, second grade? They were, I don't know, 7 years old at that point, 6, 7 years old. And now they're in their late 20s. And even if they're even older than that, obviously they lived even more through all that stuff. So, to drop everything that you own, trying to jump on a plane, you have no idea where it's going. You got to know that these Taliban people, or whatever you want to call them, they're inhumane. I don't even want to call them people.
Yeah, it's and the Speaker of the House had an out of office reply yesterday as all this was happening, and I'm just like, No, Jen Psaki, or I don't know how
Oh
to say
yeah.
her last name.
Is she on vacation too?
She said that she's unable to be reached and she'll return as soon as she comes back to the office. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
I mean,
Like,
how incompetent. Forget like what part of the political spectrum you stand on. You gotta realize how incompetent this administration has been on every single issue. They're running the country into the ground. It's insane. The border crisis. You know, you want to control COVID so much, but you're letting all these people come in with COVID from Mexico.
yeah, it's
This,
yeah,
you know, the inflation,
yeah,
the oil thing going on right now, where Biden shut down the Keystone Pipeline as soon as he got in, and now he's influencing OPEC to up their oil production. We were oil independent for 4 years, and now he wants OPEC and other countries to up it so we could buy it from other countries.
yeah, yeah, it's
Like they don't think.
yeah, I can't imagine the fallout from this, and I can't believe I'm going to be real interested to see kind of how everything transpires here, because I mean, I think they said that the spend was between 2 and 3 trillion, because U.S. government's military spent last 20 years over there, and just for it to be taken over and the whole country to be taken over in days, the military estimate was months, but it just took days.
It was almost a waste of 20 years, right down the drain. Like, I mean, obviously, like I said, like we could go right in there and probably take them over again and get them out of there. But at the same time, like that doesn't change the fact that like we've been working towards this for 20 years. So like for them to just come right in and take over the government like that, it's literally a waste of 20 years, no matter if we're able to control this or not.
Well, the bigger risk in this particular region is the geographical area of Afghanistan, because it's right next to Iran, and I think everybody in the military, I think at least in the CIA, is worried about Afghanistan partnering with Iran, because there's a huge border, like the size of, maybe not the size of Canada and the US, but it's big.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you don't want like a faction like that to start gaining power, but I don't know.
Well, you're right. I mean, like, I understand that we needed to go in after 9/11 for Afghanistan, but that quickly turned into Operation Iraqi Freedom, which was like, what are we doing there? Like, that's the time we were wasting. We should not have been in Iraq. We should have taken care of bin Laden. But it quickly became a Saddam Hussein kind of a trying to take his power. It was just a mess. And it's going to be even more of a mess.
Yeah.
And we just had peace. We just had some peace over there not too long ago.
Yeah, well, in Afghanistan, it's tough because the Taliban has kind of ruled over that area for so long, and there wasn't really any local leadership, to put something in place. And I mean, but Afghanistan has the natural resources, to really stabilize the country, but there wasn't any real leadership. I mean, Taliban's been there forever.
Yeah. Sunnis and Shiites.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been fighting for thousands of years. But guys, I'm about to head off. It was a great session on a Monday. Let's keep the momentum going with everything going on. I'm about to hop on a Zoom with Tiger. If anybody would like a Zoom this week, please let me know. We'll hop on one. We'll catch up. We'll see what you got going on. See what we could work towards, right? See what your weakness points are, what your strengths are, and how we can improve moving forward so that you guys are at your tip-top shape. But again, like I said, this is Monday. This is the third week of August. So you guys want to have your goals, right? That you're looking at every single day and push towards them every single day, like we talked about this morning. If you're going to bed the same that you were waking up this morning, you didn't do your job. Like I said this morning, you guys each have your own goals that you're trying to accomplish that I've talked to you guys about individually. And I know what you guys are striving for, but you guys have so much more work to do and so many more things to do. So go to bed tonight much better than you were yesterday, no matter how you're feeling. Like I said in the announcement section today, I'm being accountable. I'm telling you guys the way I've felt in the past couple weeks or months with everything going on and why I think it happened. And again, like I said, I think that's a very good, valuable lesson for you guys to learn so that you guys don't go through it. Or if you're going through it right now, how to kind of get out of it and kind of gain that momentum back. Because it was very tough for me to gain that momentum back, but I was able to do it. So let's, like I said, let's push ourselves this week. Let's, stay consistent with coming on the lives and taking trades together. Today was a nice trade on gold, but we got so much more to go. We have a lot of FOMC stuff going on this week. We have a lot of FOMC stuff going on next week with the Jackson Hole symposium. I guess I don't know why they call it that, but I don't even know what that means. But it's a big meeting in Jackson Hole that they have every year. But we got a lot of stuff going on this week. So let's keep each other accountable. Let's work as a team, like we always said from the beginning. We're a family. We want to all accomplish our goals together. So. Like I said, finally, if you guys need me at all, please let me know, and we will hop on a Zoom. All right, boys?
Catch you guys later.
See you, Justin.
See ya.
See you, boys.
Sounds good. Cheers, man.
Cheers.